Hey everybody, it's TR, and got this out to get Jamian's attention. Seriously though, he's going to be doing a review on that new Teese guitar that looks actually pretty nice, and I'd love to get one, but actually what I need to get's a new cable here, huh? Listen to that. No, I'd love to get one, but essentially minus the little spoke wheel here. Made in China, roasted maple neck, I got a belly cut. And definitely need a new cable. I'm gonna just redo the end on that. Anyways, I didn't come to talk about this guitar. Today's some more science talk, as I understand it, about how guitars and pickups work. How I understand it. I'm going to put that stipulation on it. It's how I understand it. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, I don't know what I'm talking about, that is absolutely fine. Okay. Pickup. Resistance. Higher the resistance, the hotter the pickup. Sorta. That's what we use as a measurement. Don't want to name names, but somebody out there has the mistaken idea that the resistance of the guitar lead is going to make the number of the pickup resistance go down. No, it would make it go up. The reason why, as I talked in my last video, when you just put the tester straight on the pickup, you get one number and then you get a lower number when you put it on the input jack or the cable, is because of it being in a parallel circuit with the other electronics on the guitar. So it makes the number read a little lower than just the pickup by itself. But that's DC resistance. More wire wound around the pickup, higher DC resistance. Less wire, less DC resistance. So that's that. Will it affect how the pickup sounds? Maybe some. The other things we want to be concerned with, there's four things the way I understand it. There's resistance, there's capacitance, there's inductance, and there's resonance. Okay, so that's the resistance. We took care of that. Now, your cable. Tone suck from your cable is not the DC resistance that's causing the tone suck. It's the capacitance in the cable that's causing the tone suck. That's why expensive cables can have a capacitance that's less, more invisible, more transparent than a cheaper cable. Now, capacitance is like the word capacitor, like in your tone control, your capacitor. You know, your 0.22, 0.47 microfarad, whatever. What your cable is got capacitance, and it's acting as a low-pass filter. So the longer the cable you have, the more high end you lose. Does this make any sense? I'd read that's why Jimi Hendrix liked those coiled cables, because they had a lot of wire in them, and they took a lot of the high end off. And if you think about it, what was he playing for a live rig? He was playing a Strat back in those days, you know, and it was probably pretty brittle and high pitch sounding. So it was taking some of that high end off, right? So that's capacitance. Now we're left with inductance and resonance. And this is where we're getting into how I understand how these pickups are going to work for how they're voiced. Inductance, that's the Henrys. Like Brian in Searching for Tone can measure the inductance of a pickup, how many Henrys it is. The resistance is going to be how hard it is for a signal to pass through the wire, but the inductance takes into account the magnetic field, how the magnetic field affects the way it passes through. So now with your inductance, you're not only taking into consideration the wire on the pickup, but you're taking into account the magnet on the pickup as well. That's where we're getting like ceramic magnet, Alnico, how strong is the magnet. So that's why the inductance is the true reading. Resistance, I think everybody goes by just because not everybody has a meter that can measure the inductance or even understand. They just understand more K, hotter pickup. Fair enough? So, okay, now with the inductance, we get into resonant peak. So more wire means more inductance as well as more resistance. That's why we can kind of use them as a guide. Now what higher inductance will do is make your resonant peak lower. That's where you're going to get the boost in frequency. Is going to be more in the lower frequencies. The higher you go, the lower you go, the higher frequencies get boosted. So that's why like a single coil will be bright and a humbucker will be dark. Some of them are too dark to where they get muddy. Some are too bright to where they're brittle or whatever. So your inductance will affect your resonant peak, and that's how pickup manufacturers voice pickups. And as I said, this is how I understand it. So those would be the things that affect it. But your cable, now that's a capacitance issue. It's acting as a low-pass filter the longer the cable you get. You can put a tester on just a cable, and you're going to find there's minimal resistance. There is resistance, but it's not a lot of resistance. It's more of a capacitance issue. If that makes any sense, and I'm sure nobody cares, but you know what? You do probably care about. This is a cool guitar, huh? Yeah, it is. That's the lesson for today. You guys have a good one.